Hello. So in this video, I will be talking you through how I do a hybrid full set. This client is actually my sister, so let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna start with micellar water to remove any eye makeup that she has on her eyelids. She says she usually tries to avoid makeup around her eyes, but you always get a little bit on there, so I just do a quick swipe with micellar water before I go in and actually cleanse with the lash bath. So you'll see here that I wet the lashes first, then I apply the cleanser. Then I'm going to go ahead and get in there, make sure everything's nice and clean. She does take good care of her lashes, so I know I'm not having to scrub away any gunkies or anything like that. Then I'm going to take paper towel, tilt her head, rinse. And then I think I got some in her ears, so that's what we're laughing about. Don't do this to your clients. Make sure you're putting enough pressure on the side of their head to where the water goes into the tissue paper, not into their ear. So then I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye, do it a couple times, and then I do it twice on each eye. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing gloves, I know a lot of lash artists do not wear gloves. I kind of just got used to them after COVID, and I actually prefer them because my hands can get sweaty, or like my sister's wearing makeup, so I don't want makeup to get all over my hands. So I just actually prefer the gloves now. And I actually got used to the mask too. I kind of like it because I'm not breathing over the client's face, but this is my sister, like I said, so I don't always wear a mask with her, just because we're sisters and she doesn't particularly care if I breathe over her or not. So now I'm drying the lashes. She actually does not have a very dense lash line, so they dry fairly quickly. But I always give my clients a tissue anyway, so that when they open and they feel like it's not completely dry, or they feel like their eyes are they still have some water, they can blot, and that also gives me time to open up my pack of iPads while they're blotting. So then I have my clients look up at the ceiling. I specifically tell them do not look back towards me. So that way, when they close after putting the iPad and the tape on, it doesn't shift. So I specifically tell them just look straight up at the ceiling, not back towards me. So it gives me kind of a perfect placement of the iPads, and then I go in with two pieces of tape to secure the iPad. Also, usually I do like an extra little piece of tape on either side of the ends of the iPads, just to secure them, because sometimes people eyes flutter, just out of nervousness, or sometimes when they're sleeping and dreaming, they will kind of shift a little bit. So I just want to keep them down, keep them in place. This is also good. Like I said, my sister's wearing makeup here, so the iPads will not stick down nicely as if she wasn't wearing any makeup. So I put those little extra pieces of tape to really secure the iPads and so that they don't move around, like I said. So now it's time to prime. Again, I know not all lash artists prime, but just on a scientific chemistry basis, this gives the lashes the appropriate pH level so that the adhesive bonds the way that it's supposed to. So I always prime, even though I did a lash bath, and then I'll go through and start mapping. Again, not every lash artist map, but the reason that I do is because it keeps me organized. So I don't use any specific lash maps on all clients. Every client has a different eye shape. Even one eye versus the other can be different, but I use the map as more of an organization thing for me, because there have been times where I will do something on one eye and completely forget to do it on the other one. And basically, this just helps, like I said, to keep me organized and to keep the eyes symmetrical. My sister likes a cat eye, so I'm gonna do shorter lengths in the inner corner. I do one length in the middle. So you can see here I do 8, 9, and then a big chunk of 10, and then 12, 13. That big chunk of 10 helps to keep it more of like a line for a liner look. Um, this is very helpful for girls, even though she has small eyes and she has almond eyes, that middle part of the eye can be very round and it kind of kills the shape of the cat eye. And I hope this is making sense, but that big chunk of 10 in the middle helps to minimize the roundness of the eyes so you can get the maximum cat eye look. So this is a very simple mapping, I would say. Lengthwise, it's 8 to 13, but I do a lot of different things here. So in the inner corners, I do more of wet lashes. That middle 10 section, I will do 10D fans with the wet lashes. And then on the ends, I'll do 5D fans or 7D sometimes. And I will also mix in some classic lashes there. And the reason that I do that is because she has very, very sparse inner half of her eyes. She has a lot of lashes on the ends, so I want to make the result as even as possible. I will typically start with the inner corners like this, and if you don't know this tape trick, it's game changing. Basically, you just put the piece of tape horizontally, starting at where the section is that you want to start working on. You pull the lid to the side, and that exposes all the inner lashes so that you can isolate them more easily and you don't get stickies. So this tape trick is essential. Also, any products that I'm using here, I will list down below. And I like to lash doing one section at a time on each eye. I don't do one eye completely and then the other. Again, symmetry purposes, organization purposes. I do one section, let it dry, do the other section, let it dry, go back to the other side, let it dry. So you'll see me doing that here, and I do the inner corners first just to get them out of the way, and just in case the client's eyes tear. So then once I'm done with the inner corner, I'll go ahead and do the outer corner, and same thing, going back and forth, one eye, do a section of the outer corner, then do the outer section of the next eye, and just go back and forth like that. With the outer corners, I don't pull it horizontally because sometimes the tape doesn't adhere well to the nose. It'll like slip off. So I do it more in this diagonal kind of direction and it separates them just fine. You can also tilt the client's head like I just did here and use that, move them around however you need to so that you can do your job well. And pro tip, if your client is a jumper, like they jump in their sleep when they start to get into a deep sleep, the rotating of the head, life-saving because if they start to snore or you see that they're like in a really deep sleep, gently moving their head will kind of help them not be in such a deep sleep so that they don't jump up and either squeeze their eyes together or give you like 100 anxiety on the tweezers hitting them in the eyeball. So yeah, use that to kind of keep them awake. Then after the inner and outer corners, I'm going to go ahead and do the middle, but really actually the bottom layers. So if there's inner and outer corners lashes that are happen to be exposed when you do this tape back, then I will lash those too. So this is really for the bottom layer. But you can see most of those lashes are in the middle because I didn't do that yet. So this is another great way to make your isolation a lot easier doing it this way. Definitely de-tack the tape, even though this sensitive tape is really not that tacky to begin with. De-tack the tape because when you pull this off, you want it to be seamless. You don't want it to snag on their natural lashes and the extensions. So definitely de-tack it like 2 or 3 times at least before putting it on their lashes like this. And this bottom layer is super important because this is what she's seeing when she looks in the mirror. If you are not getting the bottom lashes, your set will not look as full as to your client as it does to you. So then once I'm done with the bottom layer, I will go ahead and sift through and find any lashes that are remaining. So now these lashes that would have initially been harder to isolate, now they're a lot easier because all of these other lashes, about 70% of the lashes, are already lashed with an extension. So it's just that much easier to isolate the natural ones. So I'm going to go ahead and let this part just speed on through, throw some music in the background, and pick back up when I am almost done. So now we are done and it's time to apply bonder. This step is so essential for me. I don't even use a nano mister anymore. My retention was already good without it, but this literally adds an extra week for my clients, which is insane. So why would I not use it? This one specifically is from the Lash Co. And again, I didn't say any of the other products because I am going to list them down below, but this one needs an honorable mention because this one specifically has Teflon in the ingredients. So it gives like almost a coated seal to the lashes, which is why it gives you the extra week. So of all the other bonders out there, this is the one for me. And then once I'm done fanning and drying and making sure there's no stickies, making sure there's nothing attached to the bottom lashes, I'm gonna go and pull off the tape one layer at a time. Take off the eye pads, and she is all set to go. I will go ahead and brush them again just one more time and fluff them out one more time because taking off the tape and the iPads usually will like mess them up again. So I'll just do that quickly before she gets up. And here's the final result.